Another day, another story. Once upon a time, in a world far, far away, there was a magical kingdom ruled by a wise and just king. The people of the kingdom were happy and prosperous, and the king was beloved by all. One day, however, the kingdom was threatened by an evil sorcerer who had been banished many years ago. The sorcerer had been plotting his revenge for years, and had finally found a way to break the seal that had kept him locked away. The sorcerer's dark magic swept across the kingdom, causing destruction and chaos wherever it touched. The king and his advisors tried to fight back, but they were no match for the sorcerer's power. As the kingdom crumbled around them, the king realized that the only hope for his people was to find the source of the sorcerer's power and destroy it. He knew that this would be a dangerous mission, but he also knew that it was the only way to save his kingdom. The king gathered together his bravest knights and set out on a perilous journey to find the source of the sorcerer's power. They journeyed through dark forests and treacherous mountains, facing many dangers along the way. At last, they arrived at a great castle, where the sorcerer was said to be hiding. The castle was surrounded by a moat filled with deadly creatures, and the walls were so high that they seemed to touch the sky. The knights knew that this would be their greatest challenge yet, but they were determined to succeed. They donned their armor and readied their swords, and set out to breach the walls of the castle. The battle was fierce, with knights and sorcerers fighting hand to hand. The knights fought with all their might, but it seemed that they were no match for the sorcerer's dark magic. Just when all seemed lost, the king had an idea. He knew that the sorcerer's power came from a magical talisman that he wore around his neck. If they could only destroy the talisman, the sorcerer would lose his power and they would be able to defeat him. The king and his bravest knights made their way to the sorcerer's inner chamber, where the sorcerer was waiting for them. They engaged in a fierce battle, but the king was able to get close enough to the sorcerer to grab the talisman from around his neck. With a loud shout, the king shattered the talisman, and the sorcerer's power vanished in an instant. The knights were able to defeat the sorcerer, and the kingdom was saved. The king and his knights returned to the kingdom, where they were greeted with cheers and celebration. The people of the kingdom were overjoyed that their beloved king had saved them from certain doom, and they vowed to always honor and protect him. And so the kingdom was restored to its former glory, and the king ruled for many more years, beloved by all who knew him. His bravery and selflessness had saved the kingdom from destruction, and his memory would be honored for generations to come. As the tale was told over and over again, the people of the kingdom would often fall asleep, comforted by the knowledge that their king had protected them and kept them safe. They slept soundly, knowing that they were in good hands, and that their kingdom was protected by a wise and just king. Please subscribe.